Hello YouTube. Filming in the car like I seem to always do. So excuse the steering wheel. It's the best I can do with my phone the way it's positioned. I'm trying to figure out how to get like a clip or something for my, I have one of those pop sockets or whatever on the back of it. But I wanted to get on here and do like a little chit chat type session. I wonder if I can move it a certain way. I'm trying to breastfeed in the car as well. So it's kind of like a little chit chat session situation thing about like breastfeeding. It's been a long time since I've done any kind of real video. I have two videos on my YouTube channel regarding breastfeeding my first son, and that was just like a bunch of things about tips and what worked for me, how it worked for me. So I figured I'd do like a new updated video with my current little one. He's going to be a year old next week on Wednesday, so we are currently still breastfeeding. And I plan to breastfeed for as long as he wants. I did 13 and a half months with my oldest, but that was because he kind of like self-weaned himself. But I didn't do anything to get him to stop. It was just his choice. This one, his name is Bo. I never have done a video showing him anything about him. Like I said, I suck. I really do. I suck at YouTube, and I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to figure out things to record and topics to come up with and all kinds of stuff, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what direction to go towards. So I figured I would just do this kind of video, like a sit down breastfeeding chit chat type something or another. I don't know. I know I want to do a couple videos regarding like how I've been feeling and doing and all that in the first year of his life. I have been struggling with anxiety, quite a bit of anxiety. I wouldn't consider myself to be depressed, so I don't think I have postpartum depression. But I don't know, I'm always so anxious and have like thoughts in my head, like unnecessary, like stupid, like petty things that go on and make me just continue to think and worry and all of that. And I've been for, let's see, about 2 months now, I've been on Zoloft. My prescription was at first for 50 milligrams to take, but I have not taken the 50 milligrams. I usually just half the pill, and I take 25 milligrams just because I didn't want to take medicine at all while I was breastfeeding him. But Zoloft is one of the safer options if needed. And like I said, I've been taking it for about 2 months now, so I think that's pretty good considering how old he is and how long I waited. And I should have taken it a lot sooner. But I didn't want him to have anything, like any unnecessary stuff in his system coming through breast milk and whatnot. So, yeah, so this is little Bo. This is Bo, and he has 4 teeth. Don't you? Look, Bo. Look. See yourself? He has 4 teeth, and he has 2 more coming in on each side of his of his 2 top teeth. He has the 2 next to those coming in. He is the complete opposite of my first. Like, my first was very, how do I say it? Okay. Bo cries a lot, but that's only if I leave his sight or if he really is hungry or, stuff like that. My first, he cried a lot in the very beginning, but that was because he had colic, and he had, what is that called? Acid reflux. And he was just more like, he would smile, but he was more of a serious baby. Like, I don't know. Bo here, oh gosh, the boy smiles at everything and everyone. He laughs, he smiles, he talks, he does so much stuff. He is such a happy baby, except for when I leave his sight. He's a huge mama's boy, whereas my first was not the biggest mama's boy. Like, he wanted to be near me, but you know, I could leave his sight and he could stay with daddy, and you know, stuff like that. Bo will stay with daddy, but he, you know, he prefers to be near and, you know, with me. So yeah, he's so happy though. He always smiles and laughs, and he's just, I can't get enough of him. Like, I just want to like eat him. He's so daggum delicious and sweet. But yeah, so we are still currently breastfeeding. Going on a year next week, and he is still waking up every 2 hours, literally on the dot, to feed. And you know, I know he does not need it. I know he does not need to eat multiple times throughout the night, if any throughout the night. But he's still sleeping in our room. He's still in his crib, next to my side of the bed. And I don't know. I just know he's more than likely our last baby. And I'm just trying to like cherish every little like ounce of him being a baby, you know? And so still waking up every 2 hours. But I side nurse, or whatever you want to call that. So I'll put him in the bed, he nurses, he falls right back asleep, and then he goes back in his bed. But I have not had a full night's sleep since he was born. He is not a sleeper. Like, he takes crap naps, he sleeps like crap at night. Like a mouse fart will wake him up. It's just, it's crazy how different he is than our first. Riker, which is our oldest, he is 5, and he was sleeping through the night at 7 months. 7 months he was sleeping through the night, and I want to say that's when he stopped nursing at night as well. If he was still nursing, it was once a night. But Bo, nope. This boy wants boobs all the time. Like, he is obsessed with nursing. Like, he wants what I call it the milkies. That's what I just call it for him. He wants the milkies all the time. I have not introduced cow's milk to him. I've thought about it, but I don't know. I don't want to get him used to drinking it when, I mean, he doesn't really need it right now. It's not like it's, I don't know. That's kind of a weird subject for me sometimes, because I feel with Riker, we gave it to him at, I want to say, a year old. Maybe he was a little bit younger than that. And, you know, then he stopped nursing at 13.5 months. So did it have something to do with that? Did he prefer cow's milk over mine? I don't know. But, hang on. But, like I said, he's my baby. He's so sweet and cuddly, and I just, oh my goodness, I'm just trying to take everything in. And I don't want to give him cow's milk. He's turning the wipers on in the car. I don't want to give him cow's milk and then him stop nursing, because I love that time. I love our you know, nursing sessions, or whatever you want to call that, because it's just him and I. And I don't know, the way he looks at me when he's nursing, it's just so sweet. And I know I can comfort him with that, and I don't know. There's just so many things that make me not want to stop nursing anytime soon or introduce cow's milk. I mean, he gets cow's milk like in yogurt. He'll eat yogurt. I give him the Horizon vanilla whole milk yogurt. So he gets that. And then which, you know, whatever other random things that we eat that has cow's milk, you know, cooked in there with it. But literally, like, he seriously is not that into food. Like at dinner, I was just doing like those little Sprout, I think that's what they're called, Sprout pouches or whatever organic pouches I could find, and I would give him those. Well, lately he has not really wanted them, so I've been trying to give him, you know, whatever we eat for dinner that night, excuse me, I'll give him, you know, taste off of my plate and I'll feed him. Like last night we had goulash, and he ate a little bit of it, but not his favorite thing. But he was devouring the peas that we had. So I gave him, you know, a good amount of peas. He loves bread. He loves, let's see, what else? He eats Cheerios every day. He'll eat like those Gerber Puffs. We get those. He eats, oh, my phone's sitting on it. It's what those rice rusk. I've been buying the vegetable fruit one mixture. So yeah, he eats like little things, but he's just, I don't know. He's always been on the smaller side. But it's funny because even though he looks smaller than Riker did, I pulled out Riker's stats for when he was 11. I think it was when he was 11 months old. And Bo and Riker are like neck and neck. They were about the same height and same weight at 11 months old. I weighed Bo last night, and from our scale at home, and he was saying that he was 20 pounds, 20.6 pounds, I think is what he was. Whether or not that scale is correct, I don't know. But that's what we use, and he doesn't go back until next month for his checkup. I think it's next month. But he just, I don't know, he looks like skinnier or leaner or whatever. I don't know what you want to call that. I don't know. He's wearing 18-month stuff, but I don't know. He's just a skinny boy with some chubby cheeks that's obsessed with turning the wipers on. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just trying to take everything in from him because he's so cute. Look at you, Bowie. Bo, you see Bowie and Mama? Yeah? Yeah, you see Bowie and Mama? Yeah. So, breastfeeding. We had a struggle in the very beginning. When he was born, he was scheduled for December 1st, December 2nd, something like that. But I wasn't feeling him move as much, like his movements weren't as strong. So, and I was having pain. Okay, so he was a repeat C-section. I had him as a repeat C-section because Riker was born as a C-section, and I didn't want to risk anything and all that. So I was having pain at my scar incision site, or whatever you want to call that. And it was like, it was like this burning, odd sensation that I had not felt until like towards the end of my pregnancy. So I kept bringing it up to the doctor, and she kept saying that it's normal and all that stuff. And deep down, you know, your mommy instincts kick in, and you're like, no, you know, something is just not right. So I had that, and then his lack of movement was, like, he would move. I did the kick counts. I did those twice a day, and I would always get to the 10 kicks in, 10 kicks in an hour? Something like that. I can't remember. He would always get to that, but I just noticed that his movements weren't as strong. So I brought that up to the doctor as well. Well, this was another doctor that I saw. I had to go to another location, and I saw she wasn't a doctor. She was the nurse practitioner, something like that. Well, because I had made mention of this burning, pulling sensation at my scar site, she immediately sent me to the hospital and wanted me to be evaluated and have an ultrasound done to see if anything was going on at that incision site. So I went in, I had Riker with me, because Chad was working, that's my husband. He was working, and I didn't have anybody to take Riker to, and plus I was literally like 2 minutes away from the hospital. And we lived in the Atlanta area, and if anybody is from the Atlanta area, you can't just go, up north, 30 minutes north of Atlanta, and get there and come right back down to Atlanta. It'll take you at least an hour or two, probably. So Riker was with me. I was admitted. They had hooked me up. They did all of, they hooked me up and was listening to him and everything like that. And then they wanted me to go see is it called a perinatologist? I think so. And get an ultrasound done to see, how he was, and to look at that scar area. So the tech did it. She looked, and then brought in the actual perinatologist, and he looked again and asked me where I was feeling the pain. And so I showed him, and I told him where, and he said okay. And I could tell that he was seeing something when he was looking. And I said, is it something to do with my scar, my C-section scar? And he said, yeah. He said, do you see this little black area on the ultrasound? And I said, yeah. And he said that could either be, he said it was either one of two things. It could be something, or it could be bleeding. You could be tearing and bleeding from the inside. Let me get my son, and I will continue this in a second. Okay, so now I'm back from getting Riker from school. He's in a pre-K program for half day, just to get him used to it, because he starts kindergarten, oh good Lord, in July. So that's kind of crazy. He would have started, will you quit chewing big bites, Bo? Chew things up completely. Yeah. He would have started this past August, if we would have stayed in Georgia. But we moved to Indiana, and so Indiana's state law is anything after, I think, July 31st or July 1st or something like that. They have to be 5 on or before July 31st, I think is what it is. And his birthday is at the end of August. So he doesn't get to start until July, because that's when they start school, is in July. So back to what I was saying about breastfeeding. Bo came unexpectedly, because like I was saying, I started, I didn't have a true window. They call it a true window of the uterus, or the scar, previous scar, whatever it is. I didn't have a true window, but it was very thin. And if he would have continued, over the next week and a half, 2 weeks or whatever, then I might have ruptured. I don't know for sure. So I didn't want to risk that. They didn't want to risk that. So I had a C-section. Unexpectedly, I had it that day that I went in to see my doctor, and she sent me over to the hospital. I had it that day, and he was born that night. My husband had come to the hospital, because we didn't think anything of it. We didn't know that, something was going to be going on, that night. So he came to the hospital, and they're like, we're gonna, do the C-section tonight. And he's like, oh crap. So we had to figure out what to do with Riker, because obviously I wanted Chad in the OR with me, but Riker couldn't be there, and we didn't have any family to come. My sister was at work, and my parents don't live in Georgia. So Chad ended up taking Riker to my aunt's house. Excuse me, not my aunt, his aunt's house, my sister, to stay with my brother-in-law and their 3 kids. But the thing is, as I was saying again, in the state of Georgia and in the Atlanta area, you cannot go anywhere and get back quickly. So he left and, you know, had to go and, well, he left, went to our house, got clothes for Riker, took him over, which they only live about 5 minutes away. They lived about 5 minutes away from us. Dropped him off, and then he headed back to the hospital. I tried prolonging the C-section for as long as I could, but it was a busy night, and that doctor that delivered him had a crazy amount of women in labor that night and other women that needed C-sections done too. So, you know, I waited and waited and waited and told them, you know, I want my husband here and in the OR with me. What can we do? That couldn't happen. So I had to go through the whole process by myself. I got the epidural by myself, you know, laying there on the operating table by myself, whereas with Riker, Chad was right here, you know, the whole time. So I was terrified. I knew what to expect, but I was still terrified because I wanted my husband with me. I wanted him right there next to me. But he got there literally like, I don't know, 5-7 minutes right after Bo was born. Bo was born at 9:03 in the evening, and I'm so glad that I went with my gut feeling about something being possibly wrong with him, because he had a true knot in his cord. And if I can figure out, like I said, I'm still completely new to this whole YouTube thing. If I can figure out how to insert a picture, I will insert the picture of his true knot, because I got a picture of it. And you know, that's the reason that he wasn't moving as much, is because, one, he didn't have, you know, enough cord to move. 2, sorry, I'm picking up vanilla wafers that Bo keeps spilling. And 2, you know, he wasn't getting the full amount of oxygen that he needed. So I'm just glad I went with my instinct. Mamas, go with your instinct. If you feel like something's wrong, push your doctor until you get what you want and make sure that your baby's okay, because that could have ended badly. He could have, you know, been a stillborn. I could have had a uterine rupture because my doctor kept saying that it was normal. Just go with your gut feeling. And you know, you're paying these doctors, have them do what you want, because I'm getting so tired of all this crap, you know, we can't do any other testing or any other ultrasounds because, you know, insurance won't take care of, you know, something like that. But, you know, in reality, it's getting taken care of, you know. Anyhow, it just frustrates me. I hear Riker coming. Or he's chasing the cats. I'm not quite sure. So that was our rough start. And then I didn't get to see Bo. I got to see him when he came out. They let me, you know, see him and touch his face a little bit. And then him and Chad and the nurses went to, they call it these, what they call it? Not the, it wasn't the NICU. What they call that? The special nursery, or I don't know what it was. It was something, because he wasn't, he had fluid in his lungs or in his chest or whatever because of, you know, not being pushed out of the birth canal. So he had to go to that special nursery or whatever for, he was there. I didn't get to first hold him until after midnight, maybe 1:30 or so, something like that. So that was kind of devastating because I wanted to nurse as soon as he came out, and I didn't get to do that. So we had that against us. And then, you know, it was just, breastfeeding kind of started out a little hectic. Don't you take my phone. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. And then getting him to latch was a little bit of an issue. But I had that same issue with Riker. and he had jaundice quite a bit. I mean, they poked his little feet so much and took so much blood out of his feet to test it and all that stuff. He had little dots all over his feet from them testing the jaundice levels or whatever it was. So I don't know. It was not a good hospital experience, honestly. Not at all. My first one was amazing. My second one was not good at all. I had weird nurses. They didn't check on me that often. The doctors never came and checked on me. They were pumping me full of medicine, and with my first, I didn't take pain pills. I didn't want them because I don't want it getting in my breast milk and affecting Riker. So I didn't want that done with, you gotta chew it all the way, okay? I didn't want that with Bo, but it was just not fun. So fast forward a little bit, you know, we had to keep going. We went to the doctor like, I don't know, 2 times a week, I think, for a couple weeks to check on Bo's bilirubin levels. And, you know, the place that I was going to, the nurse practitioner that was seeing him a couple times, implied that I wasn't feeding him enough. And that really rubbed me the wrong way, because I was feeding him round the clock. Like, I mean, this boy was attached to my nipple forever, like ever. So just her little snarky attitude really irritated me. And yeah, I don't know. But anywho, he ended up having a tongue and a lip tie that we got taken care of at the ENT. We got that done in January, I think. So we got that taken care of, and then after that, he was a pro at breastfeeding. Like, that boy is good. He gets done. He feeds in less than like 10 minutes, and he did that like right after getting his tongue and his lip done. So yeah, that was just my story. And like I said, he is still breastfeeding every 2 hours, pretty much at night. And I'm gonna think that is because he's still sleeping next to us, or next to me, in his crib. So I think that, you know what they say, babies can like smell your milk. I'm gonna think that it's that. I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm going with, and maybe it'll change once he is in his room, which we're planning on moving him to his room next month. So he's been in our room for a year, pretty much, and I wouldn't have had it any other way, honestly. I would have done the same with Riker, but Chad wouldn't let me have him in the room that long, nor would he ever have let me have Riker in the bed. But I mean, it's so easy to side nurse. You know, he goes to sleep, I go to sleep, it's safe. I always made sure that it was safe. I never had any blankets around his face, nothing, like completely safe. So yeah, so I just wanted to share a little bit. It's kind of like, I don't know, like my birth story, C-section story. It was unexpected. And then, you know, how we're doing breastfeeding wise, and how I'm going to continue to do it for as long as he wants. You know, we're introducing foods slowly, but like I said, he's not super thrilled about certain foods, which he hates bananas. He used to love pureed bananas, but you give him pieces of banana, no, he won't eat them. Yeah, so I just wanted to get on here and do a little chit chat and let you guys know that I am still around, and I want to really get into like doing sit downs like this, or any kind of, like, you know, daily vlogs, or, you know, something to get me going. I don't know. I feel like this is kind of like an outlet for me, just to sit here and talk and voice my opinions and my thoughts and all of that. And I don't know, I'll make a separate video regarding like my my anxiety and all that stuff, because like I said, I am going through anxiety, and the medication that I'm taking is, I can tell it's helping a little bit, but it's not completely helping. So yeah, I just want to do this and let you guys know a little bit and show off Bo. And I never really showed off Riker. I was always so like skeptical to show my babies off because people are weird. I'm sorry, but I don't know. I just don't trust anybody. And I don't know. I'm probably not going to show them that much because I don't want people really seeing them and knowing them. And I don't know, maybe it'll change. If I notice that, you know, if I start doing better with YouTube and getting, you know, positive feedback and shares and likes and stuff like that, maybe I will, you know, and I don't have weirdo comments, you know, then maybe I'll start showing them more. But I have to first get my channel up and moving and going and getting people to watch me and liking my videos and commenting and subscribing. And I'm gonna work on that because, you know, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have downtime, and I don't know, I feel like I could do something with it. So I just want to get on here with you guys. I'm sorry this is a really long video, but I kind of had a whole crap ton of stuff thrown in there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share my videos, whatever you want to do. Just let's get the subscribers, whatever you want to call that. Let's get that up because I need that. So I will talk to you guys. I'll probably do another video tomorrow, and I hope to see you guys there. Bye.